Alright guys, thank you for watching. In the video today we're talking about Sony PlayStation, of course. Is Sony losing the trust of its fans? Is Sony going back to ignoring the fan base, kind of like how they did at the beginning of the PS3 era when they got cocky and completely misread the market and their fan base? I say this because Sony has just confirmed that the PS5 price is set to increase and that it will have a minimal impact on sales, whilst the Xbox platform has confirmed the price of their Series X and Series S will remain the same for now. As usual, the links to the articles are down below in the description. So let's discuss this and address the elephant in the room. Sony Interactive Entertainment has revealed that the price of the PS5 will be increased in Europe, Japan, parts of North America, and this is due to high global inflation rates. The price increase is effective immediate and applies to both the PS5 Standard Edition and the PS5 Digital Editions. The price will remain unchanged in the US, but Sony has said that the console may yet see a price hike across many regions in the Americas. Jim Ryan, President and CEO of SIE, commented. He goes on to say, "The global economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. Based on these challenging economic conditions, SIE has made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price of PlayStation 5 in select markets across Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, as well as Canada. There'll be no price increase in the US as things stand." A snapshot of the price increase so far in Europe, for example, the PS5 was €499. It's now €549. That's for the PS5 Standard. The Digital Edition was €399 and is now €449. And in the UK, it was €449. It is now £479, and that's the Standard Edition, while the Digital Edition was $359 and is now $389. So the full list is available down below in the description. Obviously click on the link to get the description details. Do me a favor guys, before I forget, hit the subscribe, like and bell buttons. Following news that Sony will be increasing the PS5 price in select countries, Piers Harding-Rolls, who is a specialist analyst, has predicted that the move will likely have a minimal impact on sales. Harding-Rolls believes that beyond the obvious disappointment among consumers regarding the price hike for the PS5, overall sales are unlikely to suffer a major decline. He goes on to say, "While we believe there will be disappointment for some consumers that have been trying to buy a PS5 without success, or that was trying to save to buy a console just in time for the price increase, the high pent-up demand for Sony's device means that this price increase of around 10% across most markets will have minimal impact on sales of the console. We expect Sony's sales forecast for the PS5 to remain unchanged." Sony attributed the increase in the PS5 to high global inflation rates. Harding-Rolls also added, "Given the fact that the PS5 has been severely crippled in terms of the supply and constraints since launch, with many consumers unable to buy Sony's latest console, and the fact that Microsoft has shown no indication yet of increasing its Xbox Series pricing, there is no doubt that this price increase will have been a hard decision to make. However, with inflation and price increases being felt through the component supply chain, much of that priced in the US dollars, alongside continued high costs in distribution, Sony has now had to pass on some of those costs and those increases to try and maintain its hardware profitability targets." So now that we've learned that in most regions around the world the price of the PS5 will be going up, if you're wondering whether or not Microsoft will follow suit and raise prices of the Xbox Series S and X, we seem to have the answer for you, and according to Microsoft, they're not increasing their price just yet. To clarify, a Microsoft spokesperson told VGC, "We are constantly evaluating our business to offer our fans great gaming options. Our Xbox Series S suggested retail price remains from $249 and the Xbox Series X is from $449, and that's in pounds. That doesn't mean Microsoft won't be raising prices. but it does mean that it won't be raising them just at this moment. The same supply constraints that affects Sony also affects Microsoft, so it probably isn't out of the cards. But the other reality is that Xbox has much larger financial backing with Microsoft than PlayStation does with Sony. So it could very likely be the case that Microsoft simply keeps its prices the same, taking the easy win as the cheapest entry into current generation gaming available because it can afford to do so. So there you have it, Sony has increased its price. What do you think of this? If I look at this logically and take the emotion and the passion out of it and look at this purely from a business perspective, my thoughts on this, well, if you look at the situation globally, try and think of a electronics manufacturer or an energy consuming business that has not had to increase its prices due to what's happened over the last 18 months. I know for a fact over in the UK, all manufacturing, engineering, production, all those types of companies, for example, companies which make things for consumers, have all had an increase in their prices. From food manufacturing to electronic products, everything has had an increase to price. So from that perspective, it makes sense for Sony, who is an electronic manufacturing company or a product manufacturing company, to increase the price of its products. If their cost of production goes up, then they have to either absorb that cost or pass it on to the consumer. Let's not forget, Sony does not have unlimited resources like Microsoft does. If you separate the Xbox and Game Pass entities away from Microsoft, the Xbox brand would have shut up shop a long time ago. I say it's in decline, losing millions of dollars. It does. It loses millions and millions in money and revenue every year. It's a loss-making side of the business, which Microsoft believes it can support for now whilst they grow Game Pass. And as Game Pass grows, who knows, maybe in 5 years, 10 years or 20 years, maybe it will start to make money. Right? Don't forget Netflix lost lots of money for about 10 years before it started making profits. Microsoft has deep pockets and can afford to carry Xbox for years to come. Right now, as the cost of production increases, an easy win for Microsoft and Xbox is to absorb that cost due to their deep pockets and keep the cost of their console as the cheaper version on the marketplace. PlayStation cannot afford to do this. Sony doesn't have unlimited resources. They are in the same pool of thousands and thousands of companies across there, certainly the large corporate businesses around the world, where they need to hit a certain margin for profit for its shareholders and for the many multiple projects they currently have under their belt, in whether it's R&D or future ideas that they have. They need to hit those targets to be able to deliver those future projects. Sony cannot afford to take a hit on higher production costs. They need to pass that down to the consumer and cannot afford to absorb the cost like Microsoft. So there you have my thoughts on this without any emotion, without getting passionate as a gaming fan. Just look at this from a pure business perspective, because that's exactly what it is, business. For you and me, it's passion, right? Gaming is our hobby. It's a bloody expensive one, but it's what we love to do. We love to play games, talk about games, make YouTube videos and stream content and so on, right? But really, it bums us out when we hear of price hikes and game delays, but the bottom line is there's nothing we can do about it. If you don't want a PlayStation or a game, then don't buy it. That is my advice. That's the biggest thing you can do as a fan, not to buy or partake in what the company makes, manufactures or releases. But I'll say this, the PlayStation brand is strong. It's strong enough that you not buying a game or a console will have zero impact on the company. Millions of other people will continue to buy PlayStations because of the brand identity and the quality that it stands for. As I said, look at this without the emotion. It makes business sense to increase the price with what's going on across the world. I don't like it, but at the end of the day, in the UK, it's gone up by 35 odd pounds, right? About 10%, which in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really affect me. We were paying way more for fuel and gas by way of comparison. There are lots of people complaining right now and moaning about the price. And you know what? Even though I understand where you're coming from, there's only one thing you can do. Either invest in a PlayStation or don't. At the end of the day, the company is going to make money. That's what they do. They're a big company. They're there to make profits. No one's forcing you to buy a PlayStation, right? No one's going to force you to it. If you want to play Sony PlayStation games, then unfortunately you need to buy a console, or you can play the games on a PC, which by the way is another topic, but I'm not talking about it today. All of their games will be going to PC at some point in the future. It's a choice you have. That is a choice we all have as consumers. We don't have to like it. Certainly don't. I certainly don't, but I choose to play their games because I enjoy the content and the style of games. So if you don't enjoy it, then you don't have to partake and you can play your games elsewhere. It's a simple choice we have. It's a very divisive topic and one that will rage and go on for many months to come. I personally think it won't affect Sony PlayStation one bit in terms of sales. They will continue to smash it out of the park by selling millions of copies of their games and consoles. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you think if you're going to buy a PlayStation 5. Certainly if you haven't had one already, if you're going to buy one now that the price has increased. Or let me know your thoughts on the price increase in general. Okay guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching. On your way out, do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe and bell notification buttons. Thank you for watching.